Heather, how old are you?
I'm 27.
And do you live in the Brown County area?
Yes, I do.
Are you from this area originally?
Yes.
Where'd you go to high school?
Preble High School?
Do you work at the present time?
Yes.
What type of work do you do?
I'm a dental hygienist.
How long have you worked in that field?
Dentistry, 7 years. I've been a dental hygienist for a year.
Can you tell us about your family?
Yes, I am one.
Can you move a little closer?
Sorry, I'm one of 4 siblings. I have 2 brothers and then my sister. And I have a child, and then my sister has 3 children. We're all very, very close. We're all from this area.
You said you have 2 brothers and a sister.
Yes,
Who's your sister?
Nicole VanderHeyden.
How much older than you is Nicole?
5 years.
What name did Nicole go by primarily?
Nikki?
Heather, I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 33. Can you identify what that picture is?
Yes, that is Nikki.
Prior to her death, were you close to Nikki?
I'm sorry?
Prior to her death, were you close to Nikki?
Yes.
What types of things did you like to do together?
Well, like I said, I have a child, and our children are around the same age, so we did a lot of family events during the summer. We'd always get together Tuesdays. My mom would cook. She was very active. She loved to rollerblade. She loved to take the kids out to the parks. We did that very frequently.
You have an opportunity to see Nikki interact with her kids?
Yes.
Is she a good mom?
Very good mom.
I want to call your attention to May 21st of 2016. I imagine you remember that day.
Yes.
Do you recall how you initially found out that Nikki was missing?
I had received a Facebook message from Doug, say roughly around 1 or 2 o'clock that day. I was at work, and he had asked me if I had seen my sister or talked to her, and I said no. So I immediately tried calling her, and her phone was off, and we had messages back and forth, seeing if we could come to a conclusion to find her.
You said you got a Facebook message from Doug?
Correct.
Was that a typical way that you would communicate with Doug, or?
I normally wouldn't communicate with Doug. We've never really talked before that.
Did Doug have your phone number that you were
No.
aware of? Perhaps explains the Facebook message.
Correct.
You indicate that there was then conversation back and forth attempting to locate Nikki.
Yes.
What did you do?
Well, I had just mentioned, call the hospitals, the jails, maybe go around to the bars, look for her around that area, just anything that we could do.
And did Doug appear receptive to those suggestions?
Yes, he did call the hospitals, he did call the jails, and he said he didn't hear from, or her name was not in any of that. I did my own research on the jail database to see if maybe she was in there. I just didn't know.
You were regularly communicating back and forth with Doug that afternoon.
Yes.
At some point in time, did you go over to Doug and Nikki's house?
I did, yes. My shift was supposed to be till 8. Obviously, I was very concerned, as was Doug, so I went over there, and we were our plan was kind of to, get pictures and start walking around just anywhere and everywhere, asking if people could have seen her.
When you arrived at Doug and Nikki's house, who was there?
It was Doug and Doug's parents.
Was Dylan there as well?
Yes.
And just to clarify, Dylan is Nikki and Doug's son?
Correct.
Do you know how old Dylan was at that time?
6 months old.
Shortly after you arrived at Doug's, did you learn some additional information about someone's body being found?
Yes. I don't remember exactly who sent me a message. This was right before we were going to go out and look for her. We saw on the news that there had been body found in Bellevue. And, I mean, we prayed that it wasn't her.
And this information you learned of after you got to Doug's house.
Correct.
And you say that was sometime later that evening after 7 o'clock?
Yes.
And that was the first time you had heard information about a body being found?
Yes.
Prior to that, did Doug or anyone else in that home communicate the same information to you, that a body had been found?
No, they didn't know. We turned on the TV together and we all saw it together.
In fact, you were planning actively to go out and look for Nikki at that time?
Correct.
When you learned about a body being found, what did you do? What happened?
Well, I got a little hysterical because, that thought is never a good feeling. And then I had called my parents to have them come over to Doug's residence just to be with us and sit together.
Did your parents come over?
Yes.
At some point in your excitement, did you injure yourself by chance?
Yes, I did. Right after we saw the news, I had a nose piercing at the time, and I'd thrown my hands up on my face, and I had gotten a bloody nose.
And did your nose then start bleeding?
Yes.
What did you do after that to clean it up or to address the issue?
I took off my sweater and I tried to clean it up with some OxyClean in the lower bathroom.
Do you know if you used tissues as well on your nose?
Yes.
What type of sweater were you wearing?
It was a white and teal pink sweater.
Pink being the brand?
Correct.
And then I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit number 34. Can you identify what's depicted in that picture?
Yes.
What is it?
It is my sweater sitting on the countersink with a blood stain on the sleeve.
And when you say it's in the sink, where is that? At Mr. Detrie's house?
Correct.
It's located on?
The first level.
Recall if you took that sweatshirt with you from the residence later that night on the 21st?
I forgot it there.
At some point that scene became rather chaotic later that night?
Yes.
Thank you for your time today. I just have a few more brief questions. You just testified that you went over to Doug's house upon hearing all this news. The family went over there, and Doug was Nicole's boyfriend at the time.
Correct.
How long had they been dating, approximately?
About a year and a half,
Okay.
maybe a little less.
Okay. And you said that you were close with Nicole.
Yes.
I think you said Tuesday you went over to your mom's house.
Yes.
Okay. In addition to just you and her, did you and the rest of your family hang out often?
Yes.
Okay. When I say often and you say yes, what is often?
It would have been every Tuesday, and we would get together on weekends once in a while with my mother and father and all the children and do activities.
So very close.
Yes.
Every Tuesday and every weekend?
Not every.
Well,
Majority, yes.
as much as possible?
Yes.
Okay. Did Doug come over every week to your mom's house on Tuesdays?
No.
Did he ever?
Maybe once, but I don't really recall.
What about on the weekends? Was he always around for that?
No.
Going back to when you started communicating with Doug on the Saturday, what time did you say you think he got a hold of you, or you got a hold of him?
It would have been anywhere from noon to 2 o'clock, I believe.
Okay. Prior to you speaking with him, were you alerted to Nicole's, I don't want to say disappearance, but her not returning home from the babysitter the previous night?
No, I was not.
So did the babysitter get a hold of you before or after Doug?
After?
Okay. Do you know approximately how long after, or was it kind of simultaneous?
I don't recall.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions for you.
Any redirect, Attorney Lachey?
No, Your Honor.
Right, Heather, thank you. You may step down.